Yeah, I am. You want to get a drink of water or something?
I'm the last one, though. I don't want to wait. Make it wait.
No, did Michael show up? Michael's the last one. So.
Okay. I'm here tonight to refute my opponent's speech on creativity. Her claim is that the excessive use of technology is preventing human beings from using their creativity. She supports this by stating that technology causes people to stop using their cognitive skills. The use of technology is affecting our problem-solving skills. And technology is limiting young people to develop their creativity. She defines creativity in her speech as our ability to think in new and original ways to solve problems. I believe technology has little to no effect in preventing human beings from using their creativity. She begins her speech by stating that technology is causing people to stop using their cognitive skills. Her support is from Stanford professor Brad Parkinson, who says that he still prefers to use maps to find his way around. When we use GPS, we remember less about the places we go, and we put less work into generating our own internal picture of the world. This quote is questionable because Professor Parkinson states that it takes the work out of generating our own internal picture, but instead offers that he prefers a map. How is a map any different from creating our own internal picture? Without a map or GPS, how can we be spatially aware of anything past what we can see or have seen? More support from neuroscientist Veronica Bobet states that people who just follow directions tended to have less gray matter in the hippocampus, the part of the brain that is responsible for encoding spatial memories. The speaker makes a hasty generalization here because people don't just follow directions when they go somewhere. Someone following a GPS still has to drive and make connections about the road to determine which direction it is that they are supposed to be heading, not just the tracker. Her next point is that the use of technology is affecting problem-solving skills. In her speech, Adrienne West furthers her claim by stating that the wealth of communication and information can easily overwhelm our reasoning abilities. Mr. West's quote may be true for some, but that does not mean it is true for all. It is possible for the wealth of all this knowledge to not overwhelm an individual and instead increase his or her problem-solving skills because they have the access to such a wealth of communication and information. Research by the Pew Internet and American Life project shows that teenagers' use of the internet is an essential aid. From their study conducted in December 2000, 94% who have the internet access said they use the internet for school research, and 78% believe the internet helps them with schoolwork. And even when they are overwhelmed, 41% said they use email and instant messaging to contact teachers or classmates about schoolwork. So it appears that technology is helping with their reasoning. Our other support states that we're constantly connected to social media and is preventing us from getting a deeper understanding of information. Supporter Michael Bugeha, Director of Communication at Green League School of Journalism, says that critical thinking can be accelerated multifold by the right technology. On the other hand, the technology distraction level is accelerating to the point where thinking deeply is difficult. We are overwhelmed by constant barrages of devices and tasks. Sure, people are overwhelmed by technology, but that doesn't really affect our problem solving. This quote doesn't really advance the secondary claim that technology is affecting our problem-solving skills. In fact, it even says that critical thinking can be accelerated multifold by the right technology, which is a direct contradiction of her claim. Her final point is that technology is limiting young people to develop their creativity. She begins by stating that children rely on technology for play. According to the 2010 Kaiser study, young persons spend 10,000 hours playing games by age 21. In the same study, it showed that elementary-age children use an average of 7.5 hours of entertainment technology per day. This is a lot of hours spent in front of some kind of device, but there's no other statistical evidence. There's no other statistical evidence that would lead the listener to believe that this amount of time spent in front of technology is harmful to the development of their creativity. Our last report states this technology causes young people to struggle with self-regulation and attention skills. According to another Kaiser study of students that were given internet access during class, when students are tested after class lectures, those who do not have internet access perform better than those who do have. This does not prove that technology may hinder attention. This does prove that technology may hinder attention in the classroom, but this does not advance the claim that technology is making us less creative. Just consider these facts from the Yale Law and Technology. That America in 1905, the literacy rate was 80%. The high school graduation rate stood at 6%. There were 8,000 primitive cars on the road, and 8% of homes had a telephone, which was the most advanced means of communication at the time. Contrast this with 2010, our literacy rate stands at 99%. 75% of Americans have graduated from high school, and we can all see how prevalent technology is today. Is our creativity so much worse off now than it was 100 years ago when our technology was so primitive? I do not believe so. In conclusion, the points presented to qualify my opponent's speech are inadequate. Her claim is that the excessive use of technology is preventing human beings from using their creativity. I provided enough speculation to refute her supporting claims that technology causes people to stop using their cognitive skills, the use of technology has affected our problem-solving skills, and that technology is causing today's young to struggle with self-regulation and attention skills necessary for learning. Therefore, I believe that technology plays little to no role in preventing humans from using their creativity. Thank you.
All right, the structural stuff is good. On the first point, you kind of challenge the application of the quotes. I think you make some reasonable presses on them. There's not really any data from your own point of view on this issue. You're just trying to make hay out of some of the comments in the advocate's evidence itself. And it's okay. I think that you've got a couple of good presses there. That last argument about using the GPS and how you have to be able to kind of multitask and think creatively to do that, that's mostly an assertion. I think you need to develop some proof on that particular point. On the problem-solving skills issue, again, you're making an argument here that the advocate is making a sweeping generalization, and I think that's a reasonable press on the way they're using their information. I thought that you had a pretty good piece of counter evidence on this point, talking about how teens are utilizing information on the internet as a way of solving problems. The question of whether or not that constitutes creativity, I think, is one that never is going to be answered either by the advocate or by you in this confrontation, because there's not really much clarity about what constitutes or distinguishes creativity from productivity. And if you're not going to engage in an argument on those issues, then I guess productivity is as good a measure of it as anything, and that seems to suggest that it's relatively productive. On the point about social media, you basically are just taking the criticism and restating the point there. I don't think that you do much to advance that particular point there. In fact, it was a little bit confusing. On the argument about the hours on the device, I thought that you had a pretty good explanation there. You suggest that there's a lack of data on that particular point. You challenge the application of the advocate's point on that. To me, I thought that you had a very good exit argument suggesting, comparison between 100 years ago and today. And if we're going to measure the kind of things that talk about creativity, what's the world like compared to 100 years ago? It seems like it's substantially better with a lot of different innovative kinds of things that are going on. That should be a measurement of creativity, and it seems like we're doing okay. I think that's the good way to finish that argument. All right, thank you.